First and foremost, I want to give our praises to Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahushai, Ba'asham Rakakodash. We say double and say the apostles and elders of great most and well, our teachers in this truth. And we say salutations to all the Akim to the pushing good on truth and society the day and the out in the country in season and the season. We say Shalom. You know, just to go into a little precept here, this is Jeremiah 5 verse 7. You know, this is it say, how shall I pardon thee for this? Thy children have forsaken me and sworn by them that are no gods. When I had fed them to the full, they then committed adultery and assembled themselves by troop in the harlots' houses. And these harlots' houses is like these these churches and all these things. It must start by say, how shall I pardon thee for this? Thy children have forsaken me. And really and truly, the children of Israel have forsaken the Lord today. Because when you watch who they pray to every other idol other than Yahweh, Hashem Yahushai, other than the true living God. You know, the God that was their God, right? But they go on to these heathen gods and so forth, and they love that. So you say, how shall I pardon thee for this? Thy children have forsaken me and sworn by them that are no gods, right? You say, when I had fed them to the full, they then committed adultery and assembled themselves by the troops in harlots' houses. So what they do, you know, they run to, say, assemble themselves like troops. For example, it's like how they be running into those churches, you know. Like you go see an army man going into battle, right? How they do that is the same way how they assemble the church. You know, a good example of that would be like, let's watch them on a Sunday. How they move. They really assemble themselves like troops in the harlots house in the harlots houses, you know. So yeah, you know, when they go to worship, you know, all the pagan gods and so forth. Right, so how the Lord go pardon you for this? Right, it is just to show how great, you know, Israel have forsaken the Lord. You know, recently here in Trinidad they had a modeling. It had a modeling show that took part in one of the big churches in Trinidad here. You know, so at the end of the day, if them saying that they are the Lord's children and they doing it for the Lord, so then how could something so worldly take part in the church? How? Let's say, how shall I pardon thee for this? Thy children have forsaken me and sworn by them that are no gods. When I had fed them to the full, they then committed adultery and assembled themselves by troops in the harlot houses. Right? I say they were as fed horses in the morning, everyone neighed after his neighbor's wife. Shall I not visit for these things, said the Lord? And shall not my soul be avenged on such a nation as this? So shall not the Lord repay? The Lord had report for the wickedness that they do, right? That way you see we in the state that we in today. For all the things that we do against the Lord. Remember the things the Lord do, the Lord take us out from Egypt, all these things. And even when the Lord was bringing us out from Egypt and so forth, and we was going through the wilderness, what did they tell Moses? See, Moses, they brought us outside here to die by it. Best we did stay in Egypt. And that just to show you how wicked Jake is. You understand? That just show you how wicked, how heavy the wickedness is in Jake. Because they now come out. They know come from Egypt, that hard bondage. And they tell Moses, hey, you bring out here to do that, to die by? Best we stay in Egypt by? You know? They say, shall I not visit these things, said the Lord, and shall not my soul be avenged on such a nation as this? Go ye upon her walls and destroy, but make not a full end. Take away her battlements, for they are not the Lord's. They say, for the house of Israel and the house of Judah have dealt very treacherously against me, said the Lord. We have dealt treacherously even to this day. You know, to this time, to this hour that I do in this video, Jake, the whole of Israel, you know, all the tribe, they dealt treacherously against the Lord. Right? And heavy too. So shall not the Lord repay all for this? That the Lord said the two-thirds shall be cut off. You know? Right? And that's the thing. We it heavy. He said they have belied the Lord and said, it is not he, neither shall evil come upon us, neither shall we see sword nor famine. And the prophets shall become wind, and the word is not in them. Thus shall it be done unto them. Before thus said the Lord God of hosts, because ye speak this word, behold, I will make my words in thy mouth fire, and this people wood, and it shall devour them. So yeah, Jake thinking the things written here, they go come unto them. You know, as in Peter say, you know, as he days, as he that's roughly paraphrase, and as he is, if Father's days, so it shall continue now, you know. They say and going down will show you how it say, lo, I will bring a nation upon you from far, O house of Israel, said the Lord. It is a mighty nation, it is an ancient nation, a nation whose language thou knowest not, neither understandest what they say. So hey, this the Lord and we don't know who that nation is and what they do. You know, all this slavery and all these things that we went through is because of the shit we do. So I just want to jump back up. I want to go further down. It say verse 7, they say, how shall I pardon thee for this? Thy children have forsaken me and sworn by them that are no gods. When I fed them to the full, they then committed adultery and assembled themselves by troops in the harlots' houses and like Jake, the wicked. You know, when you could now give Jake something, and they go, boy, yeah, I love you, thanks. And then about the next 2 seconds, there's the enemy. They turn against you, you know. And that's the same thing they do unto the Lord. All the things the Lord done for them, bring them out of Egypt, protect them, so forth. They still went and do wickedness. They still went to other gods. So eventually, what the Lord says, shall I not visit for these things? Said the Lord, and shall not my soul be avenged so on such a nation as this? So we expect, if you do wickedness, we're supposed to, what the Lord give you good? No. You have to receive judgment. And you have to receive the judgment on the things that you do. Right? It say, let's jump back to 7. It say, when I had fed them to the full, they then committed adultery and assembled themselves by troops in the harlots' houses. Yeah, because they're jumping into these churches, thinking that this white Sejwa Borgia that they have is their God, and I jump into other places, you know, other temples and so forth, thinking that all these people is a God. So, but they had to receive judgment for that. You know, right? And they love these harlot houses, Jake. They love these harlot houses. You know, because I hear people, even as I say, you know, they throw a modeling show in the church. You know, it had church members that say, oh, that's okay to do it. You know, that's okay, man. That small thing. You know? That small thing. You know, and that just show you how wicked and how evil people is. Right? So that we give our praises to Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahushai, Ba'asham Nakakodash. We still have apostles and elders agreements and rule well. And salutations holy Akemos, pushing the word and truth and sincerity day in and day out. You know, concerning the season we say, Shalom.